Trying to decide between the Momcozy Wellness 1 versus Eufy S2 Pro. This is the comparison you're going to want to watch. I'm going to give you a complete detailed overview of their features, pros, cons, my recommendations, so you can easily decide which of these two premium wearable breast pumps is best for you. So let's get started. If you have been looking into these two pumps, you will notice that they are quite different to pretty much all the wearable breast pumps on the market currently. They come with a combination of heating as well as massage. So this is a great combination if we are trying to increase output, improve comfort, that helps with letdown. So these are two really interesting wearable breast pumps to compare. Now, obviously that's quite similar. They're also both app integrated, but let's take a better look at the actual features so we can compare them properly. Now, suction strength. Both of these are very, very similar, up to 295 millimeters of mercury suction strength with the Wellness 1, up to 300 millimeters of mercury suction strength with the Eufy S2 Pro. Realistically, that 5 millimeters of mercury, you're not going to notice on a day-to-day real-world basis. Suction levels, so how strong those suctions are going to feel. With the Eufy S2 Pro, you have 7 different levels you can choose from. You have a little bit more adjustability with the Wellness 1 that has 12 different suction levels. So it just helps you fine tune that suction strength to what best suits you a little bit better. Now, on the pump itself, so I mentioned these both come with app integration. I'll talk about that in a minute, but on the app, on the pump themselves, in terms of modes, you have 2 different modes that you can choose from with the S2 Pro. You have your, let me turn it on. You have your stimulation, which are your shorter suctions for initiating your letdown. And then you have your expression, which are the longer suctions for drawing out your breast milk. These are 2 standard that you'll find on every wearable breast pump. Now, with the Momcozy Wellness 1, you actually have 4 different modes you can choose from. So you have your standard 2, your stimulation, and then your expression. But what I love is you also have a mixed mode, which is a combination of both. So that's your shorter suctions followed by a longer suction. This is great if you want to just move over from your stimulation once your letdown's kicked in and just have a mixed combo. And then you have your milk boost. Now, a lot of mums need multiple letdowns during their pumping session. Just that 2 minutes at the start on stimulation sometimes isn't enough. If you're noticing that your milk slows down halfway through, then ideally you probably want to try going for another stimulation mode. Now, instead of manually switching over, the milk boost mode does this for you. So it's a combination of 2 minutes on your stimulation, followed by 8 minutes on the expression, and then it repeats 3 times. So essentially, if you are on for that full 30 minutes, you potentially have 3 letdowns throughout your pumping session. Really popular on the app with the Momcozy M9 and Air 1, and I really love that with the Wellness 1, they've decided to include it on the pump itself because you don't always want to be using the app. Now, speaking of the app, both of these actually come with a really great app. Love both of them for how much customization you can have with your pumps. It goes far beyond just turning your pump on and off. You can set and create your own patterns. They have professional modes in them. So I'm going to show you, if it turns on for me, this is the Momcozy app. Now in it, you can choose your standard modes. You've got milk boost, you've got milk relief. It also has some dependent on your scene, if it's before bed or in the office. You can also create your own. So say I want to do a work mode, and this is where some of the magic starts to happen, because we're not all the same when it comes to a breast pump. It's not all just the one pattern and then we are ready, set, and go. It actually can vary incredibly. Some people respond better to a slower cycle. Some people respond better to a faster. Some people like and need the stronger suction. Others don't. It's too much for them. So being able to customize your pumping sessions based on you and how you respond, to me, is absolutely fantastic. Now, both of these are great with what you can do. Now, if I go back, I'm sorry, I got to pick a mode, so let's go standard. You can turn your pump on and off. You can pause it. You can set, sorry, let me hold it. You can set timers. It will also then track how much milk you've done at the end of your session. You can sync your pumps, you can unsync your pumps, so you can have them, if you've got a lazy boob and it needs to be pumping differently to respond, you can do all of this within the app. So I love that. I would love also to show you the Eufy app, but unfortunately, I cannot get it to connect. So this is a little bit of a downer for me, because obviously this is my jam and I want to be able to show you everything. I've tried installing and uninstalling the Eufy app, syncing them individually, syncing them together. I cannot get it to work, but I'm hoping it's just a firmware issue. I haven't had issues with the other pumps, but for me, that's definitely, when you're paying such a premium price, you expect it to come and work. So it's a bit of a turn off for me just in terms of user experience. Hopefully nobody else is having that same issue. But let's keep going. The app itself with the Eufy is still, I really highly rate the Eufy app. Okay, let's talk though about the heating. Both of these come with heating, and I really like that the heating on this isn't just the top end of your pump like we see with, say, the Eufy S2 Pro. It's actually a 360 degrees on both of these. So you get it on the outside of your flange as well as around the nipple area. So it really does help with that overall comfort, overall output. I really like that they both include that. Slight differences. You have a few more heating option levels to choose from with the Eufy S2 Pro. It has 7 levels from 36 degrees Celsius to 42, or that in Fahrenheit, that's 97 degrees to 107 degrees Fahrenheit. You only have the 3 with the Wellness 1. So it's slightly warmer at 37 degrees and it goes up to 41 degrees Celsius. So it's about a degree warmer, so you can't get it less, and it's only 41 degrees max instead of the 42. Whether or not that makes a huge difference, I don't know. I'm always one for more options, the better, but in terms of heating, I don't know how much an extra degree here or there is going to make much of a difference. I think having the heating option and the 3 levels is more than adequate. But again, if you have a few more, it's always an advantage. Okay, so let's talk vibration, because this is probably the biggest difference between these two pumps. in what we see. Now, when we talk massage or vibration, essentially it is these plates, and when I turn it on, I don't know how well you can see that, but they vibrate. With the Momcozy Wellness One, these are synced with your suction. So when you have a suction pull, you'll have your pumping going, or your vibration. So it feels quite strong when you're having it all aligned. Also, you have 3 different levels that you can choose from, but it's either all on or all off. There's no opportunity to have these going at different times or sequences like what you do with the Eufy. Now, with the Eufy, these massage plates, they are a little bit more spring-loaded than what you have with the Momcozy, but essentially on, they all wear flat, so I don't think it's a big issue. But where you have, let me turn it on so I can show you. The main difference is these will go in different patterns. So you'll notice that they aren't all synced in terms of all 4 are going at once. In the app, you can adjust what patterns you like. So you can have them all going at once, or you can have it going clockwise, etc. You can have the top 2, bottom 2. Where this is an advantage is you can find a pattern that best works for you. Personally, I find it a little bit too overstimulating. I'm somebody that is either I like it on or I like it off. It's too much for my brain if it's all going around in a pattern, but that's not to say that I'm the same as everybody. Again, we all respond differently, but having that option, I guess, is beneficial if you're going to use it. Now, on whether you're going to use it, massage is really a personal thing. Would I go out and buy a pump solely because it has massage? If I haven't ever tested it, probably not. There are some advantages. So it's designed to help with comfort, clogged ducts, helping to release that breast milk and overall output. You can also achieve that by having an external lactation massager, hand massaging. It is great having it inbuilt, but it can also be very overstimulating for people. So why I'm saying this is because although the Eufy S2 Pro has a really advanced massage, you may spend the premium price and then decide that you actually don't like that feature. So it's something to weigh up. And then weigh up too, is the premium price worth having it a few different rhythms to it? And that's something that you'll have to weigh up. I can't answer that for you. In terms of flange, now this really is one of the other big differences, and something again I think is worth weighing up quite a bit. With the Eufy S2 Pro, you can see that this flange tunnel here is actually a lot deeper and wider. And why this matters is you're going to need to have more breast tissue to draw up and into the flange tunnel. So this is a lot higher, it's not or shallower. So when we're talking about trying to get your breast nipple in, your areola is going to sit here. You don't need to try and lift it up and then have it sitting at the base down here. This matters if you are somebody that has flat breasts, potentially even different nipple, inverted nipples. You're going to probably find that getting the alignment is a lot harder. Even smaller breasts, if you don't have a lot of breast tissue to kind of up and lift in, getting that nipple alignment is going to be harder. So it's definitely something to consider. I think they've tried to compensate that by having this inbuilt light. So when you're looking down, especially at nighttime, is to help with that nipple alignment. I think they're both transparent and easier to see. In terms of elastic nipples, because I do know this gets asked quite a lot, I don't think either of these are going to be a great fit. They've both got quite short flange tunnels, so you'll probably find that your nipple is hitting at the end. Having that little bit of extra width probably helps reduce friction, but then your nipples having to sit deeper in, so it shortens that tunnel even more. So again, something to consider if you do have the elastic nipples. Because of this wider flange too, and trying to get that fit, you're going to be relying more on your pumping bra. So you're not going to have as much give and take or flexibility in your pumping bra. So it's not going to be as forgiving, is what I'm trying to say, with the Eufy S2 Pro, whereas you will get away with maybe a little bit looser or a little bit tighter with your wearable pumping bra. You won't have that with your Eufy. It will rely more on that bra fit. Okay, so let's talk too about battery life, because again, this is one of the big differentiating factors. You get 150 minutes runtime off your Wellness One, off a single charge. Now, take into consideration with both of these, that usage time will drop if you're using heat and massage continuously while pumping. It will reduce that usage time. But essentially, you get up to 150 minutes off the single charge with the Wellness One. With the Eufy S2 Pro, you only get 120 minutes, so it's 30 minutes less. But you have the advantage of the rechargeable carry case, so you can USB-C charge the carry case. When you're done pumping, you pop your pumps in and it will recharge your pump while it's in storage. I do think Eufy are a little bit misleading here though. They say that the carry case is for up to 7 days of recharging, but when you have a closer look, that's only for 3 20-minute sessions. So essentially it will give you around 7 hours of recharging off the carry case. So definitely an advantage having it, but I don't trust that full 7 days because you may be pumping 5, 6 plus times a day. That is not going to last you 7 days. Think of it in terms of it will last you 7 hours. So it will mean that you need to probably recharge it more often. But when we compare it, it's probably only going to be 2 or 3 extra charges for your Wellness One versus paying for the carry case. In terms of noise, because I know that's one that everybody likes to know. Oh gosh. Let's turn this on. Now I'm going to turn it right up. Keep in mind, real world, this will be a lot quieter because you're going to have your breast up against it. So this is stimulation mode on the highest suction level with the massage going. So this is about as loud as you're going to get your pump. Now I'll pop that on pause. Now again, it will be quieter based on up against your chest. I do find the massage on the Eufy S2 Pro is a lot louder. You got different noises happening at different times, so it makes it overall louder. So it doesn't follow that pattern that you can kind of drown out. So again, something to consider. That said, neither of these are really going to wake your sleeping baby. Bit of background noise, and both will be relatively discreet. Both are under the 50 decibels. But I do find the pattern with the massage being synced with the suction on the Wellness one gives it a quieter feel. Now, in terms of price, this is another really big thing to factor in. There's about $120 difference. The Eufy S2 Pro retails at around $450. The Wellness one around $330. Neither of these are cheap wearable breast pumps, but I wouldn't expect them to be with the features that they both have. They're both app integrated, both got heating, both got the inbuilt massage. They are premium wearable breast pumps. But the question then becomes for me, is the additional price worth the features that you're getting for the differences? So this question you need to ask yourself, will you use this rechargeable carry case? Will it save you charging your pump an extra 2 times a week? Something to consider. If the answer is yes, then the Eufy S2 Pro is going to be your option because you don't have a carry case rechargeable with your Wellness one. In terms of breast shape, size, if you're somebody that has the flatter breasts, potentially smaller breasts, have issues with alignment in the past, the Wellness one is much more forgiving than what you're going to get with the Eufy S2 Pro. And I think that that's one of the biggest things I would factor in, because we can have all the extras, all the extra fancies, but if you're not getting a great fit, it doesn't matter what extra features you have, the pump is not going to work for you. So I do think the Wellness one's going to be more of an advantage for a wider range of breast shapes and nipple projections. That said, I still think the Eufy is a great pump and will still be okay, but I think you'll get a wider range of breast shapes with the Wellness one. That means also you're not relying as heavily on a pumping bra. I really like too that the Wellness one has the additional modes so you can use it without the app. Again, I've had the app issues, very frustrating, paying $450 for a wearable breast pump and I can't get it to connect to the app, which is one of the main features. So something to consider. Overall, I think for the price, I really do like the Wellness one. I think it gives you all the things that you'll need. It doesn't quite have as many premium features. You don't have the fancy different rhythms with the massage, but do you need them? It's again a question to ask yourself. So overall, I think both are really great choices. Both are pumps I'd recommend. It really just comes down to which features are you going to use and is it worth the extra cost to you? Now, I do also have a discount code you can use with the Momcozy. If you choose to use it, it's in the description. But I hope this video's been helpful. If it has, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It does help this content get seen by other mums. And if you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe. If you've got any questions, please ask and I will do my very best to answer. Cheers.